Hey there, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new around here, well, my name is Mac and I'm a leadership coach, but I actually work specifically with first-time team managers and helping them become effective leaders. So today, what I wanted to do was switch things up on the channel a little bit today and talk about the late Dr. Maya Angelou. And that's because honestly, it's no secret for anybody that knows me really well that I'm a huge fan of Dr. Maya Angelou and some of the amazing things that she's done and said in her lifetime. In fact, it was just like the other day, I was talking to a former team member of mine and she was like, Mac, do you realize that in legit every single coaching session we've ever had that you brought up some Dr. Maya Angelou quote? And I was like, you're absolutely right. And it's just because honestly, I don't know, her insights are so spot on. I mean, it makes so much sense. It's super practical and it's so easy to apply if you just really meditate on what she's saying. And so today what I wanted to do was share my top 5 with you and kind of talk through what my key takeaways were from what she said and how I applied it in my life to become a much better leader, actually just a much better person. Because to me, at the end of the day, leadership capacity is really and truly just personal development played out in public. So let's get started on the top 5. And something I wanted to add is if there's one that really resonates with you, just put it in the comment section below so that other people as they're watching this video can see kind of the most popular ones, for the audience. Okay, so let's get started. I've learned that people will forget what you've said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I think this one is really, really important. And the truth is, oftentimes we get so caught up in the minutia of the work that we forget to truly see somebody. And I agree with her. At the end of the day, people might not remember how fantastic you were as a manager in terms of achieving results, but what they will remember for sure is the way that you made them feel while they were within your care. And so I think it is really important that we remember that we're dealing with human beings at the end of the day, and every human has real life stuff that's going on that has nothing to do with work that might affect the way they react in situations or the way that they show up on any given day. And so while yes, it's really important to achieve those results, it's equally as important to remember that we're dealing with people and to invite as much empathy as we possibly can into our day-to-day, because I think that that's what at the end of the day will determine the leadership legacy that we leave behind. I know for myself, I don't want someone to just remember that, oh, Mac was really good at doing this one thing. No, I want them to remember that when they came to me, I actually listened, that I was present in that conversation. I want them to remember that I was, I developed them and that I was that type of person that removed obstacles for them. Those are the things that I want them to think of when they think of me, not just that I was good with numbers. You know what I mean? Even though, let's be real, I wasn't really that great with numbers, but you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that really count. I mean, think about it for yourself. When you think of fantastic leaders that you've had in the past, it's usually their character that you remember, right? So I just want you to keep that in mind. And again, that came from the great Dr. Maya Angelou, and I think there's a lot of truth in it. Number 2. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. So I had the privilege of speaking at a summit a couple of weeks ago where I talked about this very issue right here. I think that some of us, and I'm guilty of this as well, so I'm going to loop myself in with this, we tend to really focus and narrow in on the result, right? It's am I good at this management thing? Or aren't I? We really want to just be that person that we see in our mind's eye around what management is. We want to be that awesome sauce manager right away. And the truth is, that's not how it works. The journey of becoming that person that we can see is very uncomfortable. It requires a lot of growth on our end, right? It requires us doing the work, surrounding ourselves with the people that matter the most, that can give us the correction and advice that we need in order to be that person we want to be. I guess what I'm trying to say, and we talk a lot about this in the accelerator group together, but it's the discomfort that actually signals to you that you're doing the right thing. So every difficult conversation that you have to have, every boundary that you have to set with somebody, every no that you have to say, that's really hard for you to say because you're a people pleaser actually is you obviously being uncomfortable, but within that, you're like growing that muscle, right? You're improving that muscle so that the next time you have to do it, you become that much better at it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't knock the small things that you're doing in between. Celebrate those small achievements and recognize that that discomfort is really a signal that you're doing something right. So keep at it. You will become that awesome sauce manager that I know you want to be. It's just going to take some time and definitely some discomfort. Number 3, we are only as blind as we want to be. So in keeping it real on this channel, I will say this, that for me, this one took a little bit of time to like truly sink in and to make that like change in my life. But what I have come to learn in life and in leadership as well is that like, if I'm not getting the results, then it's most likely because I'm not putting in the work somewhere along the way. Like if my team is absolute chaos or if there's, issues on the team, then it's because there's something that I'm doing that I probably shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's my communication, maybe it's my leadership style, maybe it's in the way that I'm trying to get things done that's causing what I'm seeing, right? Essentially, my team is always going to be a reflection of me. And I know that like some managers will like push back on this. Like the other day I got on a call with a manager who legit said to me that she felt as though the reason her team was the way it was because she was just given a bad team. Now, if we had more time, I would go through all the reasons why that is such an inaccurate statement. But essentially to me, that's like just someone that's not willing to do the work on herself to see the results that she wants. And I think that's what Dr. Maya Angelou, the late Dr. Maya Angelou, was trying to say, right? Like if we're not willing to do the work, then we can't really expect to see the results. And it's the same with your team. I remember going to a leadership conference like a while ago where the speaker legit stood there in front of everybody, all the leaders, like execs, everybody, and basically said like organizations are never limited by their people. Organizations are limited by their leaders. And while that might sting, it is the truth. It's actually what was coined by John Maxwell as the leadership lid. I don't know if you've heard of it before, but the leadership lid asserts that essentially you are the highest peak for your team. So if you're not effective, then your team will not be effective. That's just the absolute truth. So I think that it's important for us, like if we want the results, like we can't bury our heads in the sand and not do the work. We have to like pull ourselves out of that and do the work, get the help that we need so that we can have the results that we desire. And I essentially believe that that is really and truly the truth in all aspects of life, right? Like we really do have to do the work if we want to see some sort of actual change. Number 4, when you know you are of worth, not asking it, but knowing it, you walk into a room with a particular power. So many of the managers that I talk to absolutely need to be reminded of this. And I think it's because far too often, many of us are carrying around in our pocket, figuratively speaking, this picture of what we think a fantastic manager is. And oftentimes when I ask managers to kind of like describe what that picture is that they're carrying around, they'll often describe like people that are charismatic, that are extroverted, that are super strong, that know all the answers. And while all that stuff is, true, I feel like that's like icing on the cake, right? That's not what truly defines a great leader. It's not, because we've seen in history and in our time period so many different flavors of what a great leader is, and they don't all have those characteristics. The other day in the New Manager Accelerator group, we were talking about this, and I kind of mentioned what I believe, the definition is of a true leader. And one of the students, Winnie, she like messaged me afterwards and she was like, Matt, can you say it again? Because I kind of feel like that's exactly what I need to remember, and I want to put it on my Pinterest board. So if you're watching, Winnie, I'm giving you a shout out right now. But essentially what I said to them is this: leadership is influence. Influence is built through relationships, and relationships are based on humanity. So what this means in simple terms, my friend, is that you absolutely have to bring you to the table. That's what will make the difference, right? But you won't do that if you think you have to be somebody else. So that's why I want to like really like double click on this point, right? You got to be you. You have to believe that you are enough. Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't be sitting in that seat anyways if you weren't enough. All that's left is that you believe that you're worth it. And once you believe you're worth it, well, honestly, the sky is the limit for you, because that will mean that you will truly have achieved influence. And that's what leadership is all about. Number 5, when you get, give. When you learn, teach. Listen, development is a core component of your role as a leader. I remember my mentor told me that, Mac, like if you are not succession planning, if there's not someone that can take over your seat at the end of the day, then you're not really doing your job. And he was absolutely right. You should be looking for ways to develop your people. You should be creating leaders as you keep going. I know that feels daunting and kind of like counterintuitive, right? Because you feel like, well, I just got into this position. Why would I try to right away get out of that position? But it is truly the mindset that you have to adopt if you want to be awesome. You want to be really developing people to be excellent leaders themselves. Now, that doesn't mean that, everybody on your team wants to be a leader. Not everybody wants that, but you can definitely train them to think like one. And so you want to be making conscious and intentional efforts within your day to make sure that you're, setting aside time, whether that be in your one-on-ones or just within the small peak moments, to make sure that you're training people and developing people to their full potential. So that's pretty much it. Those were the 5 quotes that I absolutely love by the late Dr. Maya Angelou that I wanted to share with you today that have definitely made an impact on me. And I hope that they were impactful for you as well. And like I said, leave your favorite one in the comment section below. It was fantastic to be with you today, as it always is. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and definitely hit on the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any other content that I share on this platform every single Tuesday. All right, my friends, have a fantastic rest of the week. Do not forget to keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.